Hello everybody and welcome to my BPL predictions. In this video I'll just be predicting where I think all the teams will finish in the league. So yeah, don't hate on me for it, this is just my opinion, but yeah, enjoy. 20. Burnley. Now, apologies to any Burnley fans watching, but I just don't think they'll survive in the Premier League this year. The competition is so fierce, and I know they've got a great manager in Sean Dyche. I'm sure he'll bring some, I'm sure they'll play some nice football in the Premier League. I've got no doubt about that. But they've also got a great striker in Danny Ings, but I can't see them surviving with one great striker. I just don't think they've got the strength in depth, and I think they're going down. Sorry. 19. West Brom. Now, it pains me to say this a little bit because their manager is former Preston manager Alan Irvine, who is a great manager, but I'm just not sure he can cut it in the Premier League. I mean, they found it hard to bring in some, real quality and strength and depth this season. I mean, I know they brought in Brown Adai for, I believe, £10 million, something like that, a club record, but I can't see them staying up with all the competition this year with an unproven Premier League manager. 18. Crystal Palace. Now, before Tony Pulis left, I had this team about mid-table. In fact, I had them at about, I think I had them 12th because they were fantastic under Pulis last year. But since he has left, I'm looking at the way they played under Holloway last year without Pulis, and they were poor. They really were the whipping boys of the league, and I've got a feeling, I don't think they'll be as poor as they were under Holloway, but it looks like Malky Mackay's coming in. I'm not sure he can cut it. Unproven Premier League manager, really. He didn't have much time with Cardiff. They have brought in Fraser Campbell, who is a great signing, but I think they're going down. 17. Aston Villa. Now, they haven't brought in the best signings. I mean, they brought in people like Kieran Richardson, Joe Cole, who, on the day are pretty good. But they were pretty good 5 years ago. And in my opinion, their best signing so far has been Roy Keane. Getting him in as I think he's the assistant manager for them now, just to help out. And I think that's a really good deal they've got, bringing Roy Keane in. And I know they have got Christian Benteke, but he's out for the start of the season, and they're going to suffer without him. But they've got Ron Vlaar at the back, so I don't think they're going to go down. 16. Leicester City. Now, I don't think Leicester will go down because just how good they were in the Championship. I think they're really showing some Premier League quality, especially in their first game against Everton. They showed that they can come back from behind, not lose, the team spirit, and they did that very well. Also, they brought in Ajoa for a club record transfer fee, and his goals will certainly help them well. And, of course, they have Preston legend David Nugent up front. 15. Hull City. Now, Hull have a fantastic manager in Steve Bruce, but I feel they're going to struggle this season a lot more than they did last season. Main reason being they don't have Shane Long anymore, and last season they had one of the poorest goal-scoring records in the league. And the players they brought in, Tom Ince, Robert Snodgrass, I'm not sure they're going to be able to produce the goals for them, but I don't think they'll go down. I think they're too good for that. But Europa League and Premier League, I think they'll do a Swansea and struggle this season. 14. West Ham. Now, obviously, West Ham have been having their troubles with, fans not really liking Sam Allardyce too much, but, I think they'll do fine this season, mid-table for sure. I don't think they'll go down. Not a chance with that. They've got Andy Carroll, for God's sake. You're not going to go down with Andy Carroll, are you? I mean, he's one of the best strikers in the Premier League. He's not? Oh, okay. 13. QPR. Now, the last time they were in the Premier League, it was a disaster, They were just so bad under Mark Hughes, but then Harry Redknapp came in, couldn't save them, but now he's got them from the start. They have a much better team now. They've got players such as Loic Remy, who I think will provide the goals for them this season. They've got a solid player in Joey Barton just to anchor them down, and I think they'll do very well this season. I think mid-table, got a great manager, good attacking force, so yeah, mid-table. 12. Swansea City. Now, they were fantastic in their first game of the season, beat Manchester United, and I think they'll be fine this season. They played a very nice passing football like they always do, and they have Wilfried Burnley up front, who will provide the goals for them this season. So, mid-table, nothing special. I think they'll be fine this season. 11. Sunderland. Now, they didn't have the best of seasons last year, obviously, but Gus Poyet came in and he really transformed the club around, He got them playing nice football and, that Lee Cattermole goal on the first day of the season was superb. So I don't think they'll have any worries with going down this season. I think they'll do very well. 10. Southampton. Now, a lot of people have written these off because of how many people have left the club, but I still think they'll do fine this season. They brought in some good players and they've got a good manager. And, they showed that in the first game against Liverpool. They were very unlucky to lose. In my opinion, they were probably the better team. They were very equal with Liverpool, so they're still playing great football and I don't think they'll have any worries of going down. 9. Stoke. Now, Stoke had a very good season last season. They came mid-table, and I don't think there'll be any changes with that this season, to be honest. They've got a good manager, and they've got a good team. They can score goals, very good at defending, and they really are starting to play some nice football now. So, mid-table, I think, for Stoke. 8. Newcastle. Now, Newcastle have... Last season was quite a topsy-turvy season for them, A lot of people couldn't really establish whether they had a good season, a bad season, They finished in a decent position, but, they had some issues. But this season, I think they'll do fairly well. 8th position for them. I think that they've not got what it takes to finish in a Europa League spot yet with all the competition from Everton and Spurs, but definitely mid-table, and I can't see anything past that. 7. Spurs. Now, a lot of people think that Spurs will do well this season, and I totally agree with that. I think they'll play some nice football, but Pochettino has come out and said, he wants to sell 11 players, so I think it'll be really close between Spurs and Everton, but a manager that wants to sell half his team, I can't see them finishing above Everton, who are looking very strong this season, but next season, I think they'll definitely be challenging for top 4. 6. Everton. Now, Everton have probably one of the best managers in the Premier League. I really like Roberto Martinez. He's a top manager, and of course they have signed Romelu Lukaku for a club record, which was around, I think it was 28 million, which is a great bit of business for the club. Maybe a little bit overpriced, but, time will tell. He's going to score goals for them, but I can't see them finishing top 5 with Manchester United getting back to their best. But definitely top 6, and I think they'll have a good season. 5. Manchester United. Now, this is the one that I was considering the most. I think 4th and 5th will be between Liverpool and Manchester United this season. Obviously, Manchester United will have improved from last season. Liverpool got on a little bit worse, but I've gone with Manchester United just because Louis van Gaal is new to the league and they've spent 60 million on a left back who's injured and unfit apparently, and a centre mid who's been unproven in the Premier League. But they could prove me wrong. They could win the league, but I very much doubt that. 5th place though, I think they'll get into the Europa League, and Champions League, not so sure. Next season, definitely. 4. Liverpool. Now, the reason I've picked Liverpool for 4th over Manchester United is because they've got a manager that knows the league, and Liverpool's squad is better than Manchester United, and it's more equipped to the Premier League. They've got a striker in Sturridge, and they've got players playing off him that know the league. They got players such as Sterling, Steven Gerrard, Jordan Henderson, Coutinho that are all gonna light it up this season. I believe. I think they'll all have a good season. They won't do as well as last season. That's almost guaranteed. You lose Luis Suarez, you're never gonna be as good. But 4th place, I think they'll be happy with that. 3rd. Arsenal. Now, I think this will finally be the season where Arsenal come out of their 4th place spot that I know they love so much, but I think they'll come 3rd, on all honesty. They've had a good signing in Alexis Sanchez, even if he doesn't, perform to the level of standards that Arsenal fans are hoping for him to. They have Ozil, who's now had a year in the Premier League, and I think he'll step up his game from last season. 2nd. Manchester City. Now, I think Manchester City will just miss out on the title this time. They still have an amazing team. People like Vincent Kompany, Joe Hart, Yaya Toure, David Silva, Sergio Aguero. I could go on for ages naming their brilliant players, but they haven't added to the squad since last season, and Liverpool and Chelsea were sniffing very close to them last season, and Chelsea have improved massively since last season, so I can't see City winning it, although I do think they will come close. First, Chelsea, and I can't see any way past Chelsea this season. I said City last season, I'm saying Chelsea now. You can hold me to that. And the reason for that being they have the best manager in the Premier League, Jose Mourinho. They have one of the best strikers in the Premier League now, in Diego Costa. They have one of the best midfield. They have an amazing midfield and defence now, and to top it all off, they have a striker as well, and they have Drogba. They've signed players like Cesc Fabregas, who's going to be amazing. They've got players like Eden Hazard, Oscar. They've got an amazing defence, and they've even got competition for Petr Cech now. So I can't see any way past Chelsea winning it this time. So thank you very much for watching. This has been my Premier League predictions. Let me know what you think of them in the comments down below. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and comment down below where you think everyone will finish. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.